If I lost everything and I had to get my first 10 clients all over again, here is how I would do it. When I first started at 19 years old, not much money, but over the course of time, we did over $15 million in sales inside my cleaning company. So now I will go ahead and tell you exactly how I would go ahead and get my 10 clients. So, what is important before we first go into it? When you guys are starting out, the most important part is reoccurring revenue inside of a cleaning business. Okay. That is key because it allows you to keep on going. The big mistake that people make when they start a cleaning business is focusing on one-time clients. You cannot do that. From the very beginning, you have to remember whatever it takes, I am looking for reoccurring clients. Because when you get one, then you get five, then you get 10, life becomes a lot easier. It becomes so much easier to grow that business, eventually gain freedom. Because if you're always looking for one-time clients and that's majority of your clients, what's going to happen is every single month essentially you're starting from zero. You have to get more, right? But if you figure out a way to bring in reoccurring clients, that is how you know every single month this is how much money I'm making. Now how do I grow more? How do I bring in more money, which means more reoccurring clients? And you figure out that plan to gain more reoccurring clients, right? That is how you grow the business. So now you craft that plan. You have to figure out the messaging, the discounts, okay? Like how much are you going to get if you schedule weekly appointments? How much are you going to get if you schedule monthly appointments? What's the most popular? The hooks that are going to drive those clients to your business, right? So you now know reoccurring clients is the most important part. Number two, crafting the message that's going to help you bring in those reoccurring clients, not one-time clients, but reoccurring clients. One-time clients are still great and you want them because they drive your customer average higher because they usually spend more money with you, but you cannot rely on those. Those are kind of like an extra, okay? So you will have those and you'll still have quite a bit of those, but you're going to make sure to craft the messages to lock in everybody to become a reoccurring client. Okay, so that is number two. Number three is actually going after the reoccurring clients. Okay, and where are you going to find them? And make sure that you guys watch other videos that are related to the cleaning industry. I have a lot of breakdowns showing you how to do this. Also, check out some of my other videos where I talk about Booking Koala users. If you don't know my story, I started Booking Koala, platform for that is used by 20,000 users, all sorts of services, lawn care, poop scooping. So I get to see so much information. I get to see what is working. And we get to help you guys out not only through the platform, but through information. So check out other videos that I've made where I break down what I see working across so many service business owners. Okay. So going back to the video, which is point number three now, how to actually go and get your first reoccurring clients. Most the people that fail usually start out with paid advertisement. That, again, is going to be one way to fail because some people have no, like if you're a fresh entrepreneur and you really don't know anything, how do you expect to leverage paid advertisement? You have no idea. If you hire somebody and you don't have a lot of money, it's so easy to get scammed because they're going to tell you, this is what we need to do. That's what we're going to do. And they're not going to do anything. Or they're going to get you leads, but you don't even know how to handle leads or what to do with these leads because you haven't figured out your business model. So what's important is start with free channels, especially for these first 10 clients, because during these 10 clients, you don't want to spend a lot of money because you're still figuring out your business. Okay. So the whole structure is being figured out by you. And that is what's important. During this time, you're going to be figuring out what keeps the reoccurring client, what brings in the reoccurring client, what hooks them better. Okay. I could tell you what hooks them better and all of those things, but actually going through the experience yourself, that's when you're going to really know for sure what really works. Okay. And when you spend, let's say, $2,000 and that's all you have saved up, well, you may be not going to get anybody, right? Because, for example, what if you hired a terrible cleaner and you sent, you spent the $2,000, that cleaner went to 10 jobs, and all of a sudden you you lost all those 10 clients and you lost the $2,000 that you had, right? Because the setup wasn't there. You didn't know what you were doing and things were broken. Okay. And that's why you want to start with free channels. Don't waste a lot of money. Don't spend a lot of money at the beginning until you figure out, hey, I have a good cleaner. They went to one job or the last two jobs, got great feedback, great reviews. The client was happy. They stuck. Now I'm going to look for three more clients, give it to that same cleaner, lock that schedule up, make sure that, we have 10 clients because of that one cleaner, and then go and repeat with your second cleaner. That's how you do it. Okay. So you want to make sure you focus on setting everything up properly. Okay. So we already kind of talked about the setup from the beginning, right? We talked about going after reoccurring clients, doing messages, the perfect hooks and messaging that will make sure to get the reoccurring clients. Now, number three was actually setting up the entire system, making sure you're figuring everything out and going after clients without spending money or a lot of money, right? When I first started, everything was free, right? I talk about this in another video. First cleaner, free. First couple clients, free. At that time, we were leveraging Craigslist, okay? We were doing so much posting because Craigslist was free at the time. And we were just locking in reoccurring clients, because then the next month and the following month after that, we would grow and grow and grow. And that's the strategy, right? And that will give you so much freedom to figure out how to go on to the next step and figure out what to do. Because again, if you don't have the reoccurring clients and you haven't locked in, let's say 10, then next month, if you fail and you tried a marketing channel that didn't work because you weren't prepared or you just didn't have enough experience to know what to do there, you're going to start from scratch and zero. And if you blow through all of your money, that's how a lot of new business owners quit and fail. And that is why it's important to go slower at the beginning, because you will get through the phase where you understand the business model better than most. You'll go ahead and be able to have some revenue coming in on repeat, and then you'll be able to continue to grow. This is why I like service businesses. This is why I love Booking Koala, because service businesses are some of the easiest businesses to start and grow, especially if you're a new entrepreneur. And even a lot of advanced entrepreneurs start in this industry, because even if they don't want to continue, they could always sell the business, right? Make some money and go choose to do something else if they want to. Okay. And now we're going to go to the last part. So how would I go after finding my 10 clients after everything is done properly? You understand all the other things we talked about in the video. Like I said, free things. Ask around. If you're in the cleaning industry, you literally have friends and family that have homes. They need cleaning. See if one or two of those relatives or friends will become customers. They have to do cleaning. So this is a perfect industry. Ask them if they know anybody else. Even one or two will help, because you will have some money coming in. That could pay for something, some kind of subscription or whatever it may be, Booking Koala subscription. And then what's next? Look through Facebook local groups. Okay, there's going to be people always looking. Look at things like neighborhood.com. Start playing around with SEO and Google Map Pack and see if you could get ranked. And if you're starting a brand new business, always remember, you don't have to start that business in the actual city you're in. You could be somewhere else. You could be in a different state, in a different country. We have, tons of users that, may live in one country, but do the actual service in a different country. Okay. And you can do the same thing. So those are just some of the things. Look what's popular inside your city, your state as well. Okay. And learn about that and figure out how to get your first 10 clients. Once that money is coming in, I mean, if you can leverage that to 20 or 50 clients that are reoccurring every single month, that's even better, because now you can take that money and look to explore, maybe pay a consultant that will go ahead and teach you what to do next. And if they're a scammer, which a lot of consultants are, or they just don't know what they're doing, at least you spent money somewhere and you know that money's coming back the next month. Okay. And that's what the important part is of getting your 10 or 20 reoccurring clients, because you never know what could happen. And then, of course, you may hire someone that's good, will tell you, hey, this is how to use Facebook ads, this is how to use Google LSA, and this is how you're going to go from 10 clients to, let's say, 100, and then you could keep using those networks, those platforms, to keep on growing and scaling. Okay, so that is how you would go ahead and approach your first 10 clients. And a little bit of a tip for those that maybe have experience and have some money, maybe you've grown a different business or something like that. If you know how to leverage Facebook ads or Google LSA, those would be the two places I would start to get my first 10 clients as a paid source. Okay. Very easy to leverage those. You will for sure get 10 clients off of those, but you may need to spend some money to do so. And how much? I can't tell you. It could be $2,000 to get your first 10 clients off of those sources. It might be 5,000. And that's why it's so hard to say. And that's why I always say start with free channels, because you don't want to go into the unknown and, spend your first $1,000 and still not have a client. Okay. That is why I think this is one of the most important videos I make for a new entrepreneur that's starting a cleaning business.